Okay, right. So let's deal with the company that has the losses first, and let's just deal with what we can what we can give. So, I mean, I think what you how you want to always work this, of course, doing questions helps, of course, but it's to sort of see the rationale behind this. In a perfect world, you just want to give everything you could and give it um, give past losses. But as you can imagine, there must be some restriction here. And then the government just won't want you to willy-nilly avoid every type of, because if you could give everything, you probably would never pay any taxes. So here we are. So what are the restrictions? Companies which form part of the same group can transfer losses. Yes, thank you very much. Only current period losses can be surrendered. So if we're in a 17 whatever period, 2017 whatever, you can only transfer those losses. So if this is company A and this is company B, they can only transfer losses between themselves. Well, B can only transfer losses to A in that period. So A's profits in this period can be mapped against B's losses in this period. B can't bring forward losses from 16 and then transfer to A in 17. No, you can transfer you can transfer your losses of 16 to A's profits of 16. That's the first thing. So you cannot. So again, really this restricts you to saying that any brought forward losses can only be carried forward against, if you like, whatever, future trading income in your period for your company, right? So if you want to use transfer losses, it has to be in your in both similar periods. And we'll see this. I hope this starts to give you something of I mean, because it's easy to jump straight away to talk about planning, but this hopefully this starts to give you some creativity. You can transfer as much as you want. So this starts to make you think, right, if I have some loss, maybe I can give that away to another member of the group. And if I can give that trading loss, oh, sorry, we'll come to that. If I can give something of a loss and I have some other income, that's fine. I can use that income, if you like, against my QCDs. So you can see, to a certain extent, you can have ways to save your QCDs, whereas you always prior, once upon a time, had to use your loss, if you like, if you remember, in the previous chapter, against your other income, therefore wasting QCDs. So again, this is a matter of sort of just understanding and thinking as to how to almost best use these losses. So hopefully you can start getting into it when you see the questions. Right? Okay, great. Finish. So your brought forward losses cannot be surrendered. Of course, what we call the company giving away losses, the surrendering company, is the company that surrenders its losses, to which the loss is surrendered is known as the claimant company. Right, so group loss is claimed. Of course, you have 2 years to do this. We don't deal with this here. I mean, some companies, it is true, some companies pay for this loss. Remember, you can have members of a group that don't really even know each other during the year, but suddenly come year end, they start talking to each other. And so, I mean, this is a valuable asset, having a loss, so to speak, right? So it's very possible that another company might want another member of the group might want your loss. So if payment is made for group relief, this is not tax deductible for the payer, or it doesn't really matter. Ignore it. Ignore any internal money transfers to do with these loss transfers. Now, what can you give? Now, this is interesting here. So think of it this way. Trading losses should always be, because the whole point is that you're trading here, right? This is the issue here, you're trading. So you're all trading. So you can transfer, the company with the loss can always give away its trading losses. That's fine. And you can give these guys away as well. So there's a chance here, if you like, to give unrelieved qualifying charitable donations away, if you like, to other members of your group, and any unrelieved property losses as well can be transferred. You can see the key issue here is unrelieved, and we'll see how that translates. So the surrendering company may surrender any amount of its current period trading losses. There is no requirement to relieve. There is no, I give you a strong hint here. There is no requirement to relieve the profits first, allowing you to do a few things with other income, maybe against the QCD, if you like. Capital losses are dealt with differently. We'll come to that later on. So we don't deal with capital losses we don't mix them up with trading, with group relief. When we talk about QCDs and property losses, we talk about if they exceed other income for the deduction of any losses. So we almost have to deal with these first. We have to literally find out, do we have other income first? So before we can relieve income and QCDs, before we can give those away to anyone in the current, we have to net them off against other income first, right? In our year. So let's just, there's a nice, whoops, sorry, this is just, I'll just let this settle. So we fundamentally have to deal with that first, right? And I hope this sort of is making sense as you go along to do questions. So what are we saying here? So what we're saying here is, look at the scenario here. So in this scenario here, you might have had, I don't know, I'm going to make this up, you might have had a trading loss of 100,000. So no problem, straight away you can give this 100,000 to another member of your group. We'll talk about if they can accept it, but let's just assume they could accept all of it. You give them all of it. Now of course you're thinking, oh yeah, it says I can give property losses away. You want to give all of this away, and you might have some QCDs as well. Oops, sorry, I'm messing up again. And you might want to give all of that property loss away again, but you can't straight away. You have to net it off against this chargeable gain first, because it's here. So you can't sort of, it's saying, if you want to give the only thing you can give away, first of all, is net it off first. So what is unrelieved, if you like, and if you like, £10,000 is unrelieved. What we have is a £10,000 unrelieved property loss, and that is what you may give away. Same with QCDs, right? So you use these other, you have to use property and QCDs first against income before you can give away. So it's about this. I'll just highlight it again. It's about the fact that we're dealing with 7 minutes, so that's long enough. It's the fact that we're dealing with unrelieved. Yes, unrelieved. Here we are. Cool, great stuff. So that was a nice little example. And then yes, what we'll do is in the next video we'll talk about the company receiving this loss. Okay, great stuff. See you in the next video.